Hey everybody, VR Gaming Fan here. So Oculus has done it again. They just a few months ago promised that even though they have exclusive titles, if people find a way to hack those titles so that they can be used on non-Rift equipment, they don't have a problem with that. They won't interfere with that. And now they've released DRM that specifically blocks people from hacking Rift titles to work on other platforms. So they just flat out lied. Not the first time they've lied. Won't be the last time they've lied. They just, I mean, you know, everyone knows what a slimy company Facebook is, and everyone was worried when Facebook bought Oculus that that type of slimy business practice was going to infest Oculus. And of course Palmer Luckey said that nothing was going to change, everything would stay the same, and blah blah blah, which was a load of horse shit. And as we see, yet again, slimy business practices from a slimy company. There is one bright piece of news when it comes to the Oculus Rift, but it doesn't come from Oculus. Steam announced that they are going to develop a version of the chaperone system for the Rift, so that people who bought into the Oculus hype and bought Rifts and are now being trapped in a paradigm where Oculus is saying, you know, you can't do this and you can't do that and you can't do the other thing. You're locked into what we say you can do, and that's it. Steam is developing a way for Rift users to be able to play Vive games. The exact opposite of the bullshit that Oculus is doing, where they're preventing anyone from being able to play Rift games without a Rift, preventing Rift users from being able to do any kind of room scale experience whatsoever. It's still a pain in the butt to do room scale with the Rift, and a lot of that at expenditures, very expensive. USB 3 extension cords, like $150. And the cords for the Rift itself are much shorter than the ones for the Vive, so you're going to need extension cords for that as well. I'm not sure what, if any, effects that will have on quality, latency, anything like that. But assuming for someone who passionately wants to do room scale with the Rift, and didn't realize just how badly hamstrung the Rift was when it came to anything other than sitting at a desk, when they go to all that trouble and expense to put it out to room scale, thanks to Steam, thanks to Valve, you won't end up in the emergency room because you crippled yourself stumbling around blindly in your environment because there was no chaperone system. Now, the chaperone system won't be as good as the one for the Vive because there's no front-facing camera on the Rift, but at least you'll have something that will keep you from killing yourself trying to do room scale VR with the Rift. So, some positive news, some light on the horizon for Rift users. But to give you an idea of the impact that all of these really crappy decisions and crappy actions that are being taken by Oculus has had, a few months ago, a tech channel called Linus Tech Tips had a Twitter survey of people asking which they were more interested in, the Vive or the Rift. And a couple of months ago they did this, and they got about 2,500, 3,500, something like that, respondents, and it was 50-50. But then this month they did the same survey. They got over 5,000 respondents, and 85% of them were now more interested in the Vive than the Rift. I mean, that is a huge demographic shift in a very short period of time. I mean, the Vive and the Rift both have only recently been released to the general public. And this just goes to show how badly Oculus is just tanking this by making all these really horrible decisions. People are getting really sick of their crap really fast. I was watching a channel of a YouTuber who has both a Vive and a Rift, and he has said that he keeps trying to showcase titles that are available for the Rift, and he has a lot of trouble finding anything worth playing. And even though the games might be decent quality and entertaining and everything, they're not VR games. Yes, you're playing them on a VR headset, but you're not gaining any extra value, any extra experience by playing them in a VR headset. They're board games, card games, a platformer like Lucky's Tale, which gains nothing by being in VR. They're not VR games. Just because you can, like, if I play Hearthstone in VR, it's not a fucking VR game. It's Hearthstone. So yeah, I mean, everybody, got so excited. I mean, the whole reason VR exists right now is because of Oculus and Palmer Luckey. And yet, all of the negatives that currently exist in VR are Oculus and Palmer Luckey. How much of that is his fault directly, and how much of that is just the fact that he's now owned by Facebook? I don't know. I don't care. The fact of the matter is, they're a joke. And the only people interested in trying to make a better experience and better value for people that got sucked in by the hype and bought a Rift is Steam. I mean, it's no wonder that early on, when they were in talks to team up with Oculus, Steam said, "Oh, we want nothing to do with you," and they went off and did their own thing, because they obviously saw what Oculus had planned, the business plan they had, and went, "No, we don't want anything to do with that. We don't want to be involved in that. We want VR to actually work," which is what they're doing. Open platform. A platform so open, they're actually developing software specifically to allow other hardware platforms to be able to use their platform, to be able to have access to their titles. So that, like, not only are they not making their titles exclusive, they're spending money and time and resources and energy to allow people who didn't buy their product to be able to play their games. So, I mean, kudos to you, Valve. Really, I mean, that's awesome. And Oculus, shame on you. But, I mean, the VR genre in general is still looking very positive. There's tons of interest, and thanks to Steam being at the forefront, the leader in the industry, and having wonderful business practices, I see a very, very bright future for VR in general. Not so bright a future for Oculus and the Rift, though. Another piece of really good news, unrelated to this story, is I just like 2 hours ago, got my notification that my Vive has shipped. So it's on its way. I can't wait. Talk to you next time.